G'day guys, how you doing? It's the Kiwi here with another video about being a man and going your own way. Or just trying to figure out the BS in this world. And let me tell you, there is more than enough bullshit to have to figure out in this joint. Let me tell you, unbelievable. But anyway, as the description says below, or the title says below, this video is about knowing thy enemy. And the reason why I'm doing a video about this subject is based on a couple of conversations that I've had with people and a comment section that was left in the comment section of the previous video about the debacle that's going on between YouTube and men going their own way, and how they're trying to deplatform and take down content producers in the manosphere in general, actually. So with that being said, knowing thy enemy, I mean, when you really think about it today, and this is a good piece of advice for you younger guys, many of us don't know what we're getting involved with. You know, we're very quick to sign a contract or click on the I accept or whatever else it is. And whenever we're entering into a financial contract or a relationship or, you know, a business arrangement or any sort of agreement between two parties, the majority of the time we know absolutely nothing about the other group of people that we're getting involved with. I mean, very little to nothing at all. And you know, we'll go into stuff honestly, openly, naively, and we're expecting everything's going to be great, and then stuff starts turning to shit, and we're like, what the frickin' hell's going on here? I was never expecting this. One of the perfect examples is in a marital agreement, you know, and as far as I'm concerned, marriage is 100% off the frickin' table, because not only are you getting involved in a relationship with an individual that you know absolutely nothing about, even though you say you've been together for 4 years, trust me, you still don't know shit about that person. Then, on top of that, you're signing an agreement with a third party, the government, which you know nothing about. You know nothing about the government. I mean, the government doesn't know hardly anything about itself, truthfully. So it's really important when you're getting involved with situations, organizations, groups of people, to do some research on them. A perfect example is last month I flew to New Zealand at the beginning of the month because I'm taking on a job, starting a new job in New Zealand, okay? Now, because of my own personal experiences of getting my ass handed to me over and over and over and over again, I was like, I'm going to fly down to New Zealand and I'm going to spend a week with the company that I'm potentially looking at working for, okay? So I go down there, I spend time with my friend, who is the owner of this company. Just because he's my friend doesn't mean I know everything about him, not at all. I learned so much more about that individual while I was actually down in New Zealand and around his, you know, the company that he's inherited. And I spent time around the employees. I spent 3 days in the engineering department. I spent time talking with people and getting to know people and everything that's going on. And I got a really good feeling about it, so much so that I learned enough about everything that goes on there that I was like, okay, I feel comfortable entering into this agreement with them, all right? Now that is experience that has taught me to do that. However, many of us just go blindly into stuff. And a perfect example is, you know, people starting a YouTube platform, putting video content out, and everything along that lines. Now, the interesting thing is people like myself and other content providers in the man going their own way sphere are over here on the right, okay, as far as their political belief systems. You know, they're conservative by nature, or libertarian, and that goes completely and utterly against this group of people's belief systems and ideologies. Okay, so they're offering up a platform for this group of people to get their message out there. Now, here's the thing. I'm not asking for any money on my channel. from YouTube or from anyone else. So YouTube is just offering me a service, and I'm doing my work for free, and they're allowing me to put my videos out there and put them out into the world. Okay? Now, when you start asking for money from that specific company, you've now entered into a completely different agreement. You're now a subcontractor to them. And if you're going to do anything that goes against their will or their advertisers' belief systems or anything along that lines, you're going to start drawing their attention. Okay? But here's the thing. They're on the left side of the spectrum. Now, if they're on this side of the spectrum, they've gone through a higher education, school, university or college or something like that, there's a pretty good chance that their professors and the stuff that they've learned is more on the left side. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to a small documentary, which is part of a larger group of documentaries in regards to where this subversion started from, where feminism came from, where the political correctness came from, where multiculturalism came from, where the whole LGBTQ, LMNOP community got perpetuated from, all this thought police stuff, where all this stuff started. Okay? And the amazing thing about it, and I've mentioned this before in other videos, it came out of Europe leading up to the Second World War and after the Second World War at the hands of the communists. And there's a specific race of people, a specific group of people that were communists in Europe. The majority, 85% of communists in Europe were a specific group of people. The wonderful thing about this little documentary, it's 40 minutes long, and I highly recommend that you watch it. You will see how they were able to come into the United States and the systems that were set up for them to actually get the qualifications to actually enter into the higher education system. And that's where the subversion started in the United States. And the reality is the people on the left, the majority of people that run and manage larger corporations in the United States, like Google and also like YouTube, have been educated by professors and a school and university system that came out of this belief system, these people's ideologies. So when you start to learn what the specific group of people's belief system is and their ideologies are, you will see why they are against any men that are waking up, that are against any men that are wanting to become independent from the system. They can't have free thinkers. Who was the first group of people in Russia during the Bolshevik Revolution, the communist takeover of Russia? Who was the first group of people that got cut down? It was the free thinkers. I've literally stood on a gravesite in Kharkov in the Ukraine where there was 3,500 bodies in a grave below my feet. And they were free thinkers, artists, singers, poets. All the creative people tend to be more free thinking, believe it or not. Well, that's where they were. They all died. So they're literally bringing about the same level of subversion in the United States, but it's slowly but surely coming in inch by inch by inch. And these individuals on the left, sadly, don't realize how they are being utilized as tools. This specific group of people is literally standing back now and letting our society just start to crumble down around itself. This group of people and their subversion has been absolutely perfectly implemented. It's unbelievable. So the people that are on this side of the spectrum, people like myself, we are seen as the enemy of this specific group of people. And there is historically documented proof to prove this. I'm not talking out my butthole. It's actual fact. And in that small documentary that I've got linked below, they supply books, literature, documents, everything. It's all there. It's all 100% there. And right now, people like myself and other individuals on the right, we are waking up to this. And these individuals, they don't realize it. But it's sad, but these individuals, who many of them are of the same ethnic group as am I, okay, these people are being used. They've literally been weaponized through their belief and ideologies against us. And that's what's happened with feminism. Feminism has been an absolutely incredibly well played and well thought out tool to literally turn our own women, our own females against us. Which is stunning, considering that we, by majority, are the ones that keep this society going. It's not this specific race of people or group of people that have turned our own genders against ourselves and the opposite gender against ourselves. You don't see them keeping the power lines up. You don't see them working as plumbers. You don't see them working, laying pavement, building high rises, keeping cars going, keeping the infrastructure of the planet up and running, building aircraft. No, you don't see that group of people doing that, do you? Not at all. So the level of subversion has been coming at us from every direction. And as I said, it's about knowing thy enemy. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave another link below, just so you can get an idea of how this group of people have been bringing about their belief systems and their ideologies and bringing about the subversion into our lives. I'm going to leave a link to a marriage contract that you, as a male of that race of people, or that group of people, you have to enter into with a female member of that group of people. Okay? And when you start reading that contract, you will start to see where all the divorce court laws have come from. Straight up. Because when you start looking at who works in the court systems and who is a large majority of lawyers, etc., around the United States, you will find it's that specific group of people. So, if you like the content, give it a thumbs up, pound the subscribe button, and I'll be coming back at you with most probably some more red pills pretty soon. Talk to you later, guys. Cheers.